Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest. Today we have back Gayle Suzanne. And Gayle, welcome back, Gayle. She was with us. You've been on this. This is the fourth time you've been with us.
Third, I think.
Third time. And I think the last time was just before COVID.
Yep.
Just before, so we're looking at 3 or 4 years ago, right? Boy, is she a busy lady. I remember when you first started out with your first book, right? And then now she has another book. And she's also a life coach. I think this is so cool. Gayle, first of all, let's first talk about Stepping Out in Love, an insightful, honest, and humorous book about life after divorce, the ups and downs of dating and merging and a new step family. You went through this, didn't you?
Yes.
What was it like?
Not easy.
How many kids were involved?
Well, I have just one daughter,
Yeah.
and she was 4 when I divorced. And as soon as I divorced, I wanted to, of course, run out and get another relationship and another man, like immediately.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to feel the pain. I just wanted to jump forward. But I knew that I had a lot of healing to do. I had a lot of growth that I needed to. I needed to take care of myself.
Yeah.
So I took about 5 years off of men. I had friends. I had a lot of friends, a lot of going out, but I didn't want to date for a while because I needed to heal myself. And I went to therapy and I just started to date myself, basically.
Yeah.
Doing things that I enjoy, because during my marriage, I think I lost myself.
Yeah.
I lost what I wanted. I lost my hopes and dreams. And so I took that time to just discover what I liked and what I didn't like. And I discovered a lot about myself, and I realized that I was my worst critic.
Yeah.
I was the one that was so hard on myself, and I had to turn that around somehow to, in order to be in a healthy relationship, I had to be healthy.
How many years were you married?
I was married for 10 years.
10 years.
Together 14, yeah.
And then, but it was 25 years ago. This is great because you caught it early, right? I would say early. You put it into it and you began again.
Yeah, exactly.
And you had a child.
I had a
So
daughter.
you were a single mom.
Yep.
And you had to work.
Yes.
Now your daughter, you are now going to be a grandma.
Yes, I'm going to be a grandma.
It's going to be a boy. When is it due?
He's due on the 27th.
Of this month?
Yes.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So
She's getting the Braxton Hicks, and
yeah.
she's ready for it to be over.
Yeah, I was not the happiest camper during the 9 months.
Yeah.
I just wanted the end product. I didn't want to go through all the other stuff. It was just like, get this out.
Yes.
But once you get it, you're like, oh. Now, this is her book, Stepping Out in Love, Gayle Suzanne. And there's a great picture of her on the back. You are a professional coach, inspirational speaker, best-selling author. Tell us about how you got into coaching.
Oh, wow. Well, I've been a coach for about 13 years now, and I guess when I was younger in college, I wanted to be a psychologist.
Yeah.
And I was afraid that I couldn't pass statistics because it was a math course.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
And you need that to get your graduate degree. And I was afraid, so I went to the legal profession instead because I didn't want to go and take statistics of all things. And I look back at that now and think, oh my God, that fear changed the whole trajectory of my life.
Yeah.
So my mother died suddenly, and I had a little bit of money, and I decided to go to coaching school. I'm like, this is the perfect time. The kids were teenagers. I was married at the time, had 2 stepchildren. And I just went through the program and never looked back. And it was the best thing I ever did.
Was this before you were writing, or it was after you were an author, successful author?
I did both at the same time.
At the same time?
Yeah, so I wrote my
What
first
is
book.
coaching school like?
Coaching school is amazing. I went to New England Coaching, which is part of IPEC, IPEC.
Is it online?
Yeah, no, it was, it's 4 weekends of 30 hours. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You're in there 10 hours a day in person with the whole class.
You mean you have to stay overnight?
Yes.
Where was this? What town?
Right in Marlboro.
Okay.
It was close.
Whoa,
Yeah.
Okay. Whoa.
Yeah, it was close, but it was one. There was about 25 of us at the time,
Yeah.
and we had a full weekend together, learning all kinds of skills. And then we would come back the next quarter, but we'd have like hundreds and hundreds of hours of coaching to do in between.
Yeah.
So we would coach someone in the class, they would coach us, we would have a mentor, we'd coach with a group across the country that wanted to do the same thing we did. You know, there's a business coach, a life coach, a divorce coach, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. It was intense, but the relationships I made, I still have today. They're amazing people.
And you got a diploma at the end.
A certificate, yeah,
A certificate.
you're certified.
From that point, there's so many coaches out there. I'm thinking, you saw that, you knew there were so many. How the heck do you get yourself as I'm great? You know, the other ones know I'm really great. How do you do that?
I had a vision that I wanted to have my book in one hand and my coaching.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have a tangible product.
Sure.
And I would go to women's groups, senior centers, because my goal at that time was to help women who were going through a hard time, who had low self-esteem, who just had no hope for a better life.
Right.
So the women's groups and senior centers kind of embraced me. So I would bring my book and I would do a little presentation. And it kind of evolved where I started talking in empowerment groups and different functions and different events. I would go to vendor fairs just to get the word out and then just to talk to people.
Yeah.
To find out, because people that wanted to buy my first book,
Yeah.
which is like all about the ups and downs of life,
Yeah.
they talked to me. They wanted to know how I got from A to B.
Yeah.
And
So what you did, you bring your book and talk about your book, and then you kind of segue into and I'm a coach.
Mhm.
And they see both sides there, the author, and she's basing her coaching on what you went through.
Exactly.
I know, how do you advertise online, or do you mainly just go word of mouth?
I do it online. I'll do social media, Facebook and
Yeah.
Twitter, and then I had come on shows like this,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just talk to people. I believe so passionately because I know how down in the dumps I was and how I didn't feel like love was ever meant for me. I felt like I was going to be tossed aside. I felt I wasn't worthy of love. And I want to give other people the hope because where I'm at now, I know I deserve it.
Yeah.
Just like everybody does.
Sure. The strength, what they say, courage, strength, and hope.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody wanted to, well, first of all, read her book, here it is again, Stepping Out in Love, okay? And before we forget, how can they get a copy of your book, Suzanne?
It's on Amazon, and it's Stepping Out in Love is my second book. My first one, I'll just put it up here. It's
Yep.
called It's in the Little Things.
It's in the little things, yeah.
And by Gayle, Suzanne. They're all on Amazon. They're available Kindle. If you have Prime, then you can get it for free on Kindle. And they're all 50 short stories. Both of them are 50 short stories, so it's an easy read. And it's just all about, loving yourself. It's about the ups and downs. I'm very raw and very honest and kind of goofy. So it
That's
runs
good.
the gamut of emotions.
Yeah,
So I was afraid to put as much stuff out there as I did. But I'm like, those are the things now, when people read my books,
Yeah.
those are the things they'll comment on the most, are the things that were so hard to write about,
Right.
that really exposed me.
If somebody, I don't know if somebody wants you to be their coach, do they have to stipulate to you what they needed coaching with, or you as a general coach can sit with them and kind of zero in with them?
Yeah, I think after a while, usually I have my first coaching sessions free just to see if we gel, and then they're coming to a coach because they're stuck somewhere, they're having an issue. So we'll talk about that, and sometimes that issue is based on something that might, or a trigger that might have happened.
Definitely.
Let's say if they're in another breakup now and they're upset that they had been broken up before and they're afraid that the same thing is going to happen. So most of the time I'll just listen and then get a good feeling of where they're at and where they were and what triggers them, and then we can move forward.
Are a lot of them corporate business, or are most of them maybe retirees? How does that go?
It's anybody.
Anybody.
Yeah.
You must be so surprised. After you give a presentation with your book and you talk a little about your coaching, right?
Yeah.
People come up to you, I bet.
Yeah, they'll come up, buy the book, and just we'll talk, just for a few minutes.
Yeah.
But it's either that connection or not, and sometimes people aren't ready right then. I've had people say, "I've had your article in your paper for 2 years,
Yeah.
and I finally got the courage to call."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's like planting the seed, kind of.
Where have you been appearing?
Let's see. It's awesome. I love it. I just did a women's empowerment event in Quincy, which was amazing. Here and there, everywhere. I guess senior centers, women's groups, down the Cape. I'm part of the Chamber of Commerce, so I did an empowerment presentation at the Chamber of Commerce women's event, their yearly event. So it's
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
But what's coming up should we look forward to?
Oh my God, my new book.
Okay, here we go. Now, not only just this, now we've got, is it a sequel to this or something a little different?
It's not a sequel. It stands on its own, and it's basically, I wish I knew then what I knew now. What I know now, rather.
That's going to be a hit, because that's how we all feel, I
Yeah.
think.
It's like, oh my God. So hopefully I'll get somebody young and they can read it and say, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about this now because in 30 years it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
And just the things I worried about and the things that I put pressure on myself about, or things I thought would never change.
When does it come out?
I still got a little work to do on it.
Or
but-
maybe this summer? Maybe this summer?
Maybe the fall.
In the fall?
Yes.
You got to let us know.
Yes.
Okay. we
I
gotta
will
put her
definitely
back.
let you know.
Now, all right, so you're working on that. You're going to be a grandmother. You do coaching. Do you ever have time for just a bubble bath?
Oh, yeah.
You do. Well, that's good. How busy are you with coaching? Which is busier, coaching or book from? Which is busy?
Well, I have a full-time job also.
What are you doing?
So I do this. That's just I have a job in Washington State that pays the bills. And
What are you doing?
I'm I work in the legal area, so I draft contracts. So
God,
that's
you're
kind of like,
talented.
that's kind of like my, that's what pays the mortgage, puts food on the table. This stuff is my heart, my passion.
And this is good because this can help pay for things that you need in the house, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Definitely. I can see so many people going and hearing you and saying, they relate, that's it. And you had this with you for years that you wanted to do this type of. A lot of people, like I'm one of them, as an entrepreneur, it's like, well, I could go this way, I'm going to try this way. Next thing you're trying so many things, it's hard to zero in and stay put sometimes. What do you say to people like that?
I think do the thing that you love the most. When you think about that particular thing that gives you the bubbles in your stomach or whatever, to do that one first and to follow it through.
The bubbles in my stomach. Thrift shops? Books? Thrift shops, books, arts and crafts. Besides, of course, the show. But see, it's got like tentacles, like an octopus.
Yeah.
And I wish I'd have your ability to say, I know what I'm going to do and I know what I want to do. You have that ability. Do you meet a lot of people who just have a lot of different...
Oh, yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah.
They must be like beside themselves.
And the biggest ones are my book writing clients.
Yeah.
Because they want, I have an idea for this book, and I have an idea for that book,
Yeah.
I'm like, you have to focus on one. You have to focus on the one that you probably know the most about, or that you're the most excited about, or that you've, the smallest one, get that under your belt. Yeah.
The trick is finding what you're the most excited about.
Exactly.
I think I grew up being excited about a lot. My father and mother were like Energizer bunnies, and boy, they were excited about things. It was great, and I picked that up like a sponge.
Yeah.
So even if it was going bike riding with my best friend or walking our baby dolls or something, oh, this was terrific, or seeing a movie, that's it. I mean, the excitement level was always up there.
Yeah.
So when I went to college, like all the other good little girls, I signed up for elementary ed. My roommate was a funky art major. I'm like, to the elementary ed, I'm going for this. Didn't even tell my parents. And but then I got bored after a couple of years. I'm like, this isn't going anywhere. So I went home, Dad said, you're going to either go to business school or you're going to go to beauty school, whatever it's going to be. You can't just do nothing. Business school. And that's the thing I got out of that is I can type 100 words a minute. And I can do shorthand. I have to do shorthand in my work. So that was okay. And I went to the corporate world. And much to my father's chagrin, I left that and became a live-in nanny. He said, I don't want to hear that word nanny. He was. But I did it anyway. Number of years. And then I had my son. And then I began in broadcasting, in television. But long before that, I was in radio. But the broadcasting is a real strong one. And my father was that. And Mom was on stage, so it's like, it didn't go far from me, that's for sure. So when you ask, what's your passion? I'm like, would I be confusing to you?
Well, passion, I think, with hobbies versus what you want to make a living at. I mean, because we all have tons of passions as far as hobbies. Like one day you want to go to the thrift store, one day you want to go to bookstore. That's awesome. But when you want to have something concrete and like a plan to get something done based on that, that's where, like, you know, if you have 5 different projects you want to do, one you're like, you know, that'd be nice, it would be good, but this one I really want to do, like leave my legacy. Like, you know, if you think, I thought this is crazy, but I thought I want to leave something behind for my daughter. I want to break the cycle. Of my, you know, my mother was an alcoholic, and, you know, I wanted to break the cycle and I wanted to raise a healthy daughter, even amidst a divorce. So this book basically was my legacy to her.
And to the child coming, the grandchild.
And to the grandchild coming.
What a great thing to do. She must be so proud of you, your daughter. Oh my God. But see, you knew. I don't think ahead to legacy. I think about kind of like, right now, who would I reach the most besides what I do already? And you get one idea, and then I'm online studying it. Then I go, then I'm online studying the next one. It's almost a curse.
And have you done something, though, that besides, because this is amazing, having the show, but to get a reach, have you tried something that you're totally uncomfortable with?
Uncomfortable with?
Yes.
No. No. No, it wouldn't be that at all. But the memoir ghostwriting, I love writing for people. That I love because it's with people.
Yeah.
It's got a people oriented, and there's a lot of things out there that involve people. So we are talking with Gayle Suzanne, and she is not only an author of this book, Stepping Out in Love. I have yet to read it. I'm going to read that. She has another one coming out. Gayle, how can they reach you and your book?
You can reach me at Gayle at GayleSuzanne.com, which is Gayle at Gaylesuzanne.com, or you can, if you get my book, my email and everything is all in there. You can get the book on Amazon.
Also, we have our brand new Upton Library, and it's brand new. That we also we can have them in the dedicated local author section.
Oh, absolutely.
Too. So you can. I love that first book. I'll never forget that Gayle wrote. Hold it up again, Gayle.
This is my first book. Ta-da!
It's in the little things. And that took off like a rocket.
It did. I've sold over 11,000 on my own.
Really? In the places I sent you?
You were great. Oh my God. Jan's awesome. If you want like someone to research places where you can sell your book or sell your story, really, you've opened up so many doors, and I just didn't have the time to do the research.
You were so busy. Oh my God. Did you ever go up to, it's moved, the Book Lovers Gourmet in Webster?
Oh yeah, all the time.
You know she moved?
Yes.
Okay, so you've been there since then too?
Yes.
They're terrific. And Tatnuck, you've been back?
Yep. I've been, Tatnuck, I was there. So for all you people out there who've written a book, Tatnuck had told me, I was there for 2 hours, and they told me that I was probably the #1 person that they've ever had that sold as many books as I did. Yeah. And what my little secret is when I do those book signings, if it's just one that I'm not speaking, that just people come in, I print out little cards, little note cards of the title of the cover of my books, and then in the back just information. So I'll just walk around the store over those 2 hours and just hand my card to them.
Yes.
And that day, I think I sold like 26 books in 2 hours.
Were you in the front part or in the big room?
I was in the front part,
Yeah.
just the little right next to the jewelry and the scarves.
Yeah. Oh,
and,
yeah.
and I just walked around because I was just bored sitting there. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
nobody knows I'm here because I'm kind of in the middle of the store.
Yeah.
And, most of the people came back and I
What
didn't
came
pressure.
to
I'm like, hi, I'm up in the front. I'm an author. Here's my card. Just you can use it as a little bookmark.
Did
And-
someone watch your table for you while you went? Or you-
No, I don't.
No.
I didn't have anything at the table, just my books.
So when you're coaching now, when you go to a fair, I've had authors say to me, why are you sending me to an arts and crafts fair? I'm like, because you're going to stand out. And they're not going to say no to your money.
No.
You're to rent it. The Rhode Island Authors Expo is every December, but you love it because you would be different. Not just a book. You walk in there, everybody, table to table, is huge.
Yeah.
And then, like Corey told you, there's a lot of new indie bookshops around. Oh boy, I mean, it's a different world now. Even when I first met you, it's like a ton more stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really great. We just had the husband and wife team of the, what is that one called? The one in Worcester? Tide Pool. I think it's a Tide Pool, right in Worcester. Tide Pool Bookstore. And, they were just on.
Okay.
They're adorable. And they just decided to do it, and they finally did it.
Yeah.
But they're popping up.
Yeah.
And I
People
think
miss.
Yeah.
I love, like, when I see a Barnes & Noble or something, I'll just, like, run right
Oh,
in because,
I know.
I could just stay in there for hours and hours. And
I
I know a lot
know.
of people are the same way.
I know, and some people, I get a kick out of it. They'll say, well, I have this also. What's that little gadget you can read it on?
Kindle.
Kindle. I go, no. I want the real deal. I want to
pages.
smell it, feel it, touch it, everything.
Here
I
you
just,
go.
I don't get it. I don't, why would I want to go,
Yeah.
no, this feels kind of personal. I can see the author and everything, and I can write in it. On Kindle, you can't write, can you?
Right. No,
No. Okay, got that.
I don't think so.
You got a
no.
regular book, you can make notes and stuff like that, especially when I have Gayle on. I mean, whenever if I read the book, I can always make notes to myself, this type of thing. So, do you have it on Kindle or no?
It's available on
It is.
Kindle.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So all right, for the people who do like Kindle,
Yes.
she does have her book on Kindle.
Yep.
Now, what was I going to say? If somebody comes to you, contacts you, and wants a coach, do you have the kind of prospective client who asks a million questions and then nothing gets done? Oh,
Well, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And the reason they ask a million questions is because they're torn and they don't know which direction to go. So,
Yeah.
we can take it down and just deal with a few things at a time or
Yeah.
one thing at a time and just kind of help them focus a little bit on what is really important in their lives and where do they really want to be.
Where do they meet? Where do you meet with them?
Wherever. They can meet at my house, I can meet in a
Library.
coffee shop, in a library,
Yeah.
over the phone. A lot of them are done over the phone,
Yeah.
because some live far away.
Oh, they can
So,
do that then.
Absolutely.
What's your farthest
absolutely.
away client?
I had one in Canada for years. She, like 3 years, I had a woman in Canada. I've sold books in Germany and Japan. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that really is. What about the language barrier? And they don't have that problem at all?
No, they all spoke English.
They all spoke
Yep.
English.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. In this area, you meet an awful lot of people who are depressed. I find a lot of people, like in a doctor's waiting room, or you sit there and you wonder, you can tell by the expression on their face, like they're lost.
Yeah.
Do you ever get that feeling with somebody who comes to you, they're just kind of lost?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do they break down?
Oh, absolutely. And I provide a safe space. I think one of the things that my past has taught me going through a lot of difficult times is that I can have real empathy and compassion for these people because I can understand where they are because I've been there.
Yeah.
So there's no judgment. I am a safe space. If anything that I offer in coaching is a safe space and that I can see the beauty within them that they don't see themselves.
Yeah.
And I help bring that out. I've had clients that I've worked with for a while who came to me very, very broken
Yeah.
and hopeless, and they left like a new person. You know, a lot of work. They did a lot of work. They did the work. But just, you know, encouragement goes a long way. I mean, nowadays, there's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of, lack of support. And, you know, if I'm one person that can provide encouragement and, you know, uplifting.
How long is a session together?
An hour.
It's an hour. That's doggone good.
Yeah.
That's really, really good.
Yeah.
Now, we don't have to mention the fee, but is it usually doable for most folks?
Yeah, I charge $60.
$60? That's it?
Yep.
Holy
Yeah.
mackerel.
Yeah. I don't take insurance, so, but I'm not in this to,
No.
I'm in this really.
For the joy.
For the joy, and I have a relationship with God, and I want to honor Him, and I don't want what I went through to be for nothing.
Right.
You know, if I can help somebody live a better life, even a little bit, that works.
You are amazing and unusual. Really, because if you look online, of course, the tons and tons of coaches and all this type of thing, and you read about, God, even a ghostwriter like myself, if you're in New York City or Boston, they start out at $5,000. Yeah. I'm so far from that. No. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, that's probably for a package, but yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really strange.
Yeah.
Now, it's for about an hour, and you can meet either way they want to meet.
No.
Is there any particular area that you don't want to go to, or are you pretty open?
I'm open.
Because you can do by phone or by email, right?
Yeah,
email too?
Yeah, if they have problems during the week and if we're meeting once a week, you know, if they have issues during the week, sure, they can pop me an email. And
well, unfortunately, we're going to have to say goodbye, but we're going to come back, right?
I'll come back whenever.
Good. All right, because her new book is coming out, and she is a coach, a life coach. It's written all over this lady that she likes to help people. So, again, how can they reach you, Gayle?
You can reach me at Gayle@GayleSuzanne.com, and I don't even know if I can give my phone number. I can give my phone number, right?
Or your email.
Or my email. Yep, Gayle, what is my email?
It's Gayle@GayleSuzanne.com.
Yes, that's my email.
SUZANNE.
And take a look at my website. I have a website, GayleSuzanne.com, and then I had a cable TV show just like you.
Yeah.
But I kind of did it by myself for the most part. But I have some guests. It's Moving Forward with Gayle Suzanne. It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah. So if you want to take a look. I did have a lot of guests that came on, and just all different walks of life.
Is there a certain, so when you go onto YouTube, you just type that in?
Yeah, so if you type in YouTube, and then they'll give you a search box, and then you just put Moving Forward with Gayle Suzanne.
Okay. Moving Forward with Gayle Suzanne, and you'll come up. Where do you film it?
I filmed it in Seekonk.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, but I haven't done it since COVID.
Oh,
So,
okay. Well, you better get out there.
I know.
Gosh,
I know.
you're doing natural
I know.
too.
But I'm tired, Jen. I'm tired.
You're gonna be a grandma. You better get your skates
I can't
on.
wait to be a grandma. Grammy.
We're gonna see her again. We'll see you next time and be my guest.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream. Tomorrow's even closer than it seems.